This book here actually would probably tell you the beginning of my story, because it actually starts with my mother, and it's a true story, and it's pretty much exactly part of stuff that I remember, and what I remember happened to my mother. Because of her working in this home, she saw a lot of things that happened to the young girls and the young mothers, and then of course I was a product of that. So the Catholic Church was very big in terms of basically saying how a family, how children, how parents should conduct themselves. And it was all about morality and the Catholic Church. So needless to say, who's still a Catholic? Not me. I remember very clearly in the orphanage at age 5 thinking that I could leave just like that. Now, mind you, I'm in a secured orphanage. But one day we were walking to church and across the courtyard to the church. We were walking across in line, none in front, none in the back. And I bent down to tie my shoelace. Now imagine me having that evil thought of doing something very, very wrong. But I did. And I saw the gate was opened, and it was an iron gate. And to me, it was actually beautiful. And but the gate was opened. And just like that, bent down, pretend to tie my shoe. The nun kept going, and I went that way. And it was amazing. And somehow I just decided to go knock on somebody's door. And I did. But I'll never forget that. She had big red lips, and I was so amazed at those big red lips. And then she brought me in, and she sat me on a chair. I remember that. And she had a cup of tea. And she knew I was from the orphanage because I had the orphanage dress on. And I just said I wanted to tell somebody what was happening to me and to other people. And I wanted to tell her that bad things were happening. We got beatings, and if we didn't behave and stuff like that. But I myself at that time had not been beaten. But lo and behold, and then about 2 days later, I was called in by the Mother Superior and into that dark place where her office was. She told me to take my clothes off, but I had to go to the bathroom and wet my skin. And the next thing I know, she told me to put my hands out like this, which I did. And the next thing I hear is a swoosh. I just remember this sort of brazenness of me refusing to cry. And it just absolutely made her crazy. She screamed at me. She was going to make me cry, and I would not cry. That was the lesson that I learned. Did I ever do anything bad again? No. But what I didn't do is I never forgot. From that experience of me being born in Ireland, and then if you were not adopted, which I wasn't, you had to go to orphanages around wherever there was room for you around in the Catholic church. From when they came and got me out of the orphanage, actually when I first met remember seeing my mom at 5, and then I never remembered until she came back. And I was 8.5 to 9 because she came with a baby and 9 months old, so I had to be 9. And it was my brother, my father, and my mom's first child, Anthony. And she was actually pregnant, which I didn't know at the time, with Susie, their second child, my sister. I sort of forgot to tell you that I was transferred at 2.5, 3 years old. being unadoptable to an orphanage in Cardiff, Wales. By now, I'm been there till I'm 9 years old, and I'm basically just an orphan as far as I know. And I got a visitor one day, and it was my mother, my father, and their little baby. I couldn't get over a purse, and all I wanted to do was hold it. And that was my first venture outside of the orphanage in terms of actually being away and I was in a park. And then in end of August 31st, and sometime in September, this man arrived, the one that I had met a year previously, less than a year previously, to get me out of the orphanage, just like that. End of story, end of orphanage. And when you see these pictures, you'll see that's how it was, because it was redeemable. My mother was a married woman now, and it was okay for me to be, and a male came and got me. And so I've always been grateful to my father and stepfather, but father, and for basically getting me out of there.